Everybody's going to go through a case of the yips in their career. Some shorter than others. Others are going to have it real bad. I had a guy on one of my college teams that got it for about a week, and he was just throwing the ball 10 feet, spiking the ball right in front of the catcher over his head almost every throw for a week, and he ended up quitting. That's a pretty bad case of the yips right there, if I say so myself. But others get it for a few days. Others get it for longer than a week, but it's not quite as bad. There's many cases of the yips and how you can get them, but I can pretty much guarantee that in your baseball career, if you haven't had them already, that you will get them. Um, so you need to know how to cure the yips. There's a few things you could do. Obviously, you've guys probably seen the movie Major League Two, where the catcher's back there and he's thinking about he can't throw it back. So I forget how the movie exactly goes, but to cure it, he starts thinking about the lingerie models, and he says, Victoria's Secret, whoever 34C, blah blah blah, and he throws the ball and he gets it right back to him, and he's all pumped and everything. So that's one way to do it. Another way is obviously you guys seen For Love of the Game with Billy Chappell throwing the perfect game, and he says, he gets up there and he says, clear the mechanism, and everything gets all quiet around him. Um, Obviously that's a little little cheesy and very hard to do. It's not really going to work like that. You're not going to just say clear the mechanism and everything's going to get quiet and you're going to throw a perfect strike. Uh, but the idea behind that and what the catcher did in Major League is just clearing your mind from thinking about throwing and what you're about to do and the technique and mechanics and everything. You just want to get your mind off of it. Now, that will help for not so severe cases of the yips, but there are some very severe cases, like I mentioned before, of the yips that you're going to have to, do something else to get around them. And what I like to teach my pitchers or players who are throwers that have the yips to do is make an MCP load in their delivery or in their mechanics. And MCP, all that means is a mentally clearing physical load. I just made that up. I call it MCP, so I don't have to say mentally clearing physical load every time. So the MCP load, for me, I start with having them just tapping in their glove right here. So pat, 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 and as they're getting ready to throw, pat, pat, pat. So just right here, just like an infielder would do after or he's not really supposed to do, but you see some of those guys, they'll field the ball and they'll pat, 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 and throw. So that's all I do is just to get them to think, and I make them focus on the patting of the glove. So pat, 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 and that's all they're thinking about. Pat, 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 throw. Now you don't. This is really not a great technique um, to start with first because you're sacrificing some of the mechanical aspects of your delivery. If you're getting here and you're patting, your hands might be breaking too late. Things like that. So it's you're sacrificing some mechanics, but you're also if you have a severe case of the yips, I'd rather cure the yips than sacrifice a little bit of this. You can work on that later. So really focusing on this, and it's helped a lot. So I suggest trying that. See how it works for you. Think about something else. If it has to be a lingerie chick, a hot lingerie chick like the catcher, that's cool. If that's not working for you, then try the pat. If not, you can pat before you get into the windup on your leg or something. Really, the whole idea behind this is taking away from the mental aspect of the yips and trying to turn it into a physical aspect to where you're just letting your physical body take over and perform. So if you have the yips, good luck getting rid of them and pick up your latest model of Victoria's Secret.